All right, so we are live. All right, guys. Congratulations to those who were watching the Huobi Pro token video and were somehow convinced by my shield, right? I was the only YouTuber that actually caught wind of Huobi Pro token at practically the lowest, one of the lowest points in 2019. At the same time, there are not many tokens that have achieved and surpassed their all-time high. So it was a really great, it was a great piece of news when finally Huobi Pro token just took off and it really broke the all-time high. I mean, obviously Binance has been doing very, very well. It has way surpassed its all-time high, and obviously there are more. There's basically more accessibility to to Binance, right? Unfortunately, Huobi Pro token or Huobi is not. Well, at least the Huobi token is not available to the US and Chinese nationals, from what I understand. So a large part of the market cannot openly buy Huobi or Huobi Pro tokens. It's very unfortunate and it's really frustrating. But what I want to kind of highlight here is not to rub it into anyone's face or whatever, and it is sometimes more of how do you pick these kind of winning cryptocurrencies? Like, how would you know? So I just want to openly share what was my thought process and what was going through my head at the time. At the time, I clearly knew that miners required a service that they could trust, that they could rely on, especially when they wanted to cash out on their Bitcoins, Ethereum, EOS, whatever that they needed to mine. And we all know that this space is so hard to find a trusted liquidity provider. And, sometimes you just want to work with people that you can communicate with. There are large service providers that provide this. As a Singaporean, we are really blessed to have the accessibility to Gemini, to Coinbase. Locally we have CoinHako. And at the same time, you can find trusted OTC merchants. That means you can communicate with them over WhatsApp, the phone. And I'm very privileged to be able to have so many points of buying crypto and being able to sell crypto, whether is it through an online exchange, through an online website, and I think a lot of people may or may not have this accessibility. I understand that certain countries, they have localbitcoins.com. Sometimes they can even use Bitstamp. In Europe, there are multiple, even in Canada, there are multiple exchanges that you can use, or service providers. Let's not say that they are exchanges, but they are service providers. And it comes to the point where I knew that this was an issue, and even miners have been scammed. We know this for a fact. That's why when Huobi Pro token came out, initially I was a bit confused when I read the white paper. I was thinking, what the heck is this all about? Is this like another gimmick that Huobi is coming up with? Because they're trying to compete. Clearly, they're trying to compete with Binance, and rightfully so, because Huobi has been around for I think this is their 6th year to maybe even the 7th year in business. Okay. And I mean, it was long overdue that they wanted to ramp up activity. So when they came out Huobi Pro token, I'm like, wait, don't you already have Huobi token, right? Why can't you just use that? Like, Binance doesn't have like a small Binance Pool token. You know what I mean? They just focused on the DEX and focusing on their IEO. Well, I wouldn't say it's an IEO. I would say that it's a listing program or listing process. So Binance has concentrated all its focus on Binance token. That is why the token deserves to be the price that it is, which is over $30. For those who were in Binance at the low as well, which was I think $3 to $4, you have already made 10x on your return. So it's 1,000% on top. That is if you entered at the all-time low of this year in 2019. Now, for people who in Huobi token, obviously you have not enjoyed that. The lowest that you have could have gotten it was at 88 cents to 90 cents. And then of course right now, based on the $3 to $3.09, okay, it's about 300%. So it's 200% profit, 300% total return, which is okay, which is pretty decent if you think about it. And we're talking about a span of less than 6 months. So these are stellar returns regardless of what you talk about. So when I looked at Huobi Pool token, I was thinking to myself very simply, I knew that this service is a requirement. And which other service provider could you really trust right now in the space that can cater to miners? And Huobi was one of the first. And of course we all know Chinese miners are still out there, out and large. Sure, there could be Russians, there could be Ukrainians, there could be Croatians, there could be US, Eastern Europeans, all doing mining. It's very, very possible. There are a lot of mining farms in Iceland as well. So yeah, And if I was a miner, right, I've already invested multi-million dollars into my hardware. And I'm mining Bitcoins like crazy in hopes of that halving and now mining is profitable, by the way. Mining is profitable. So there will be more players coming back in again. It's like the whole bubble tea trend, If you guys are not familiar with bubble tea, they call it bobo in the US and whatever else you may name it in other countries. But anyway, so since mining has become more popular, more prevalent, Huobi Pool kind of serves that purpose. And at the same time, apparently there's going to be some ecosystem. So my thoughts are this. Once the Huobi chain, the main net, okay, and obviously because Huobi is well-to-do, it has revenue, it can definitely have a strong development team that can support and build their own chain, right? Because no point using Ethereum, because Ethereum it may not be built to their standards, right? And even though Ethereum is one of the largest in terms of having the most developers and one of the longest smart contract platforms, sometimes as a business, you may not have the certain criteria that you want. So knowing that right now you can build your own chain, Huobi clearly has enough revenue to do that, and they have enough in their war chest to build their own team, they probably created Huobi Pool token in order to kind of supplement their existing, and maybe they're going to segregate. So when Huobi main chain is up, that's when everything becomes clearer. Which one will be used to participate in the ecosystem? Naturally, I didn't know, so I bet on both. I said, 70% allocation into Huobi tokens, because every quarter you get the revenue, right? The revenue sharing, where they will buy back, they will use 20% of the profits to buy back the tokens from the secondary market. At the same time, whatever that they earn, or the revenue that comes in from the derivatives market, or Huobi DM, right? That will also be used to buy back from the market as well. So you can, even as a Huobi token holder, you are able to enjoy two rounds of quarterly earnings every quarter, 2 rounds of buybacks every quarter, right? So that clearly has done very, very well. So right now, you're seeing for the fact that Huobi Pool suddenly starts moving. Like, okay, look, to me, I don't give you a time frame. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know when these things happen. I didn't know that there was a certain criteria. So apparently there was a criteria of an X amount of number of wallets. So I was reading somewhere within the Huobi announcement that why Huobi Pool tokens actually went to the Huobi main listing. So apparently there was a criteria where there was more than an X amount, or I think there were more than an X amount of wallets that were holding Huobi Pool tokens. So that was one criteria. At the same time, a daily volume of a certain amount. So because of all these various criterias, and of course over a certain period of time, it gave Huobi Pool token an opportunity to be listed on the Huobi Huobi main. So there's Huobi Next and Huobi main. So Next is somewhat like the smaller, less significant listing, right? So right now you have Huobi Pool token that is now in the main listing. It will allow more eyeballs to look at this particular token. So you're probably thinking, okay, Ryan, so let's get to the chase. It's already up 405%. Obviously, you can't be expecting me to look at it now. You're not gonna enter it now. Okay, nobody in their right mind is gonna do it now. But I'm just sharing with you that there is still further upside potential. So here's why I feel that there is still further upside potential. Firstly, there's only 4 billion that is out in circulation. right now, based on the current market cap, it's only about $52 million or $57, $52 million. Okay, that's based on the existing circulation, which is 4 billion. Now, there are a total of 10 billion in terms of total supply. 6 billion, okay, is held by the company, right? So you're like, oh no, 60% is held. Look, cut that shit, okay? Any crypto company that wants to have control over their tokens, right, and wants to manage the supply will hold majority of it. The fact that there's 40% being circulated out there already, it's already quite good already, okay? So right now, you have a total of 4 over billion that is out in circulation. There will be, these tokens will be distributed in a variety of ways. The main ways are usually through mining. So that means if you are mining Bitcoin, Ethereum, I think Bitcoin Cash, you are mining EOS, you will get rewards in Huobi Pool tokens as a miner, okay? Then at the same time, whenever there's any collaborations, listings, so on and so forth, or you even holding Huobi Pool tokens, you actually get EOS, Tron, CMT, I think some ONT, you know, you get a variety of all these kind of things. So it does have a so-called dividend mechanism, okay, if you like to call it that, but I don't really call it a dividend, but as in there's some kind of returns on it. So it's actually quite good. It's actually quite beneficial. So all in all, it's been doing pretty well. And to me, my strategy is very simple. I'm just going to wait for it to cool off, and then from then just start my dollar cost averaging strategy. Now, let me just highlight a few things. At the time, even if you wanted to put, and my very first trade was on the 18th of February. I did a video on the 24th. So practically anyone who was fast enough to catch it at the time, decided to put in a little bit of money, they are already up. They're already up a lot already. Okay, but that's not the whole point. The whole point is, right now, if I want to put in more, is that possible? Well, based on the current volume, which I won't count today's volume is a total of about 1.5 billion tokens in the past 24 hours. Has that been consistent? No, it has not. Huobi Pool token, unfortunately, when it was on Huobi Next, the maximum per day, if we could squeeze out about 1.5 million in terms of 24-hour volume, that's fine. So what are we talking about when you're telling me 24-hour volume, 1.5 million US dollars worth of, or USDT worth of volume? What does that mean? Well, any trade that is below 5K would have an opportunity to get in, but it would take some time to fill up the order. Now, what if right now, if every day, which of course is quite impossible, for it to maintain having anywhere from $5 to $10 million in terms of 24-hour volume. Okay, now we're talking. That's when you can start looking at 5K and above. That's when it gets exciting, especially when you're trading in the 4-5 figure range, which we do. You get excited because the gains are much more significant. You don't want to be playing in the field where you're throwing in a few $100 and making $40, $50 on top. Now, obviously, yes, the crypto world welcomes everybody, but it's going to be very tedious because you don't know what to do. You don't know which ones can you confidently put your money in. And you want to confidently put your money in, you want to be able to sleep well at night. Sometimes you just have to work with the bigger players. Sometimes you just know how to identify the ones that have a war chest that can surpass any kind of bear market. And it was very clear for us. It was either Binance or it was Huobi. There was no doubt about it. And of course, EOS, which raised a lot of money, Ethereum, right? Litecoin, okay? All these old birds are the ones that will just basically be able to kind of weather and stay well above water, especially during the bear market. So we all knew that. It wasn't like a surprise or anything. It didn't come across as like very shocking. It was just a matter of time. So right now, when Huobi Pool is doing well, at the same time now it's on main listing, it further reinforces my dollar cost averaging strategy. So definitely I will be putting more money in, but the strategies will always be changing based on the market conditions. So if you're someone who is interested in all these kind of things, obviously you can look at Protégé Pro, where we update the strategies very, very regularly. YouTube videos are impossible because everything is moving very, very quickly. Now, in the month of June, what are our thoughts? Well, the month of June is definitely going to be a little bit on the quiet side, because I suspect that a lot of traders usually will take a day off, or will take the month off at least to spend time with the families and everything like that. So it's going to be a very quiet period. It is the school holidays. Same thing. I'm going to be away, probably next week or so. So there will be practically no videos because the internet connection is just horrible where I'm going. But nonetheless, I'll try to update whenever I can. In Protégé Pro or in my free community, which is Protégé. Now, the next thing is the topic about the evil CEOs. So, the evil CEO topic was something that I just want to have some fun, okay? Because we kind of really recovered very well in this bear market, right? Well, we are still in the bear market theoretically. And I just wanted to put this piece of content out there to kind of let people realize how much shit was going on, especially during the whole period of the ICO. Now, Unfortunately, a lot of these companies may easily get away with raising millions of dollars, right? Because Bitcoin and Ethereum are not considered legal tender in any way. Okay, they're not considered legal tender in any way. They're not recognized as a currency. Very few countries recognize them as an asset, and it's always based on the jurisdiction. So, if you are someone who is pretty new, you're innocent, you're new to the space, take note that there are always evil people out there. And evil people will always have their ill intentions planned 10, 20, 30 steps in advance. It's very difficult to tell. Now, when you create a white paper, right? We all know that it's not difficult to hire someone. It's not difficult to hire someone to write a white paper for you. It's not difficult at all. At the same time, as long as the white paper is written in such a manner and the people who write the white paper know that the way it's structured will be compliant if you decide to get a legal stamp of approval. And the legal stamp of approval, by the way, we're not saying that all these folks who are, whatever they're doing, they're not doing anything wrong. The person who is writing the white paper is writing the white paper based on your instruction. He's just professional he's a professional at what he does. The legal entity that is going to give that stamp of approval on the white paper is also not doing anything wrong. They are following a strict criteria. Since you gave me this white paper, it fulfills our criteria, you get a stamp of approval. All right? These are recognized companies. They are not, shady in any way, okay? So this is just the way it works. Now, after those two approvals have been done, the whole fundraising round starts. Okay, the whole fundraising round starts. And if they are able to get early investing from, the usual VCs or whatever who are still interested in ICOs, right? From there, it further reinforces the whole business plan. Now, after that, say they successfully went through the whole fundraising period, they are now having your money. You are going to join their Telegram group. You're going to protect it with dear life. If Ryan talks badly about your project or doesn't cover your project at all, you're going to fucking get pissed off. Okay. But the truth of the matter is, there are projects out there that have not fulfilled anything. Unfortunately. Okay? And that is the truth. And as an innocent investor that put in, I don't know, $500, $100, $1,000, $10,000, I've heard even $100,000, your money is just stuck. These days, there are all the mechanisms in place to make it look more legit, right? Early investors have to stay vested for, say, a period of 1 year with token issuance, say, every 3, 6, 9, 12 months. So that way, you as the bigger investor will not dump on the poor little investors that are buying from the secondary market. So the secondary market investors will feel a little bit more comforted knowing that, the big boys are not going to suddenly have a tsunami sell down on me and their order books are very thick. There's no way that I could ever sell. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. But unfortunately, even with all these mechanisms in place, the intentions behind the company is still very important. The intentions behind the CEO, the team behind it, nobody knows. Because they could just easily pull a small portion away from that main sum and have everything running in the front line and you wouldn't know about it. It's very, very hard to track. As much as there are there are folks out there that are spending quite a lot of time monitoring the wallets, checking where the funds go to. Those guys are really doing the community a service, and I must respect these people because they're dedicating time. They're getting nothing from it, right? And even if they're right, who's gonna come together and file a lawsuit if that were true? And even if that was the case, business failure, right, is one of the best ways, to say that, hey man, it really didn't work out. And from a court's perspective, when they look at it, for the fact that they raise money via BTC, via Ethereum, it's very, very hard to track because it's not in US dollars. It's not considered as fiat. It's like play money and play money. You guys willingly took the risk. Now, hear me out from an investor standpoint. You guys willingly used your hard-earned US dollars, euros, Singapore dollars, whatever, okay? And you bought Bitcoin. To us, I'm sorry, that's off the grid already. From there, you decided to invest in an early stage company, right? That had clearly stated that they are early stage company, and we know that early stage companies have a high failure rate. You guys are basically asking for it. You guys are asking for it, unfortunately. And that's the truth as well. So you're building up this case thinking that you as an investor, you have every right because you dedicated your money. These folks have not listed their tokens. It's been, God knows, anywhere from 18 to almost 2 years. Development is kind of like here and there, and I can't really see anything. I can't use anything. The frustration builds up and your money is stuck. So that's the truth. Now, the evil intentions part, obviously, we all know what kind of evil intentions. The money has been used to buy property, luxury cars, I don't know, whatever, like basically lifestyle related stuff, like country club memberships, anything big ticket, or even pay off their existing home debt. Nobody likes for a fact that someone else is running off with their money. Nobody. So it's very frustrating. And I'm warning you guys, okay? I'm warning you guys because we were very, very fortunate and blessed that when we invested, we really had companies that were solid, okay? I cannot imagine how many bullets we dodged. You cannot imagine how many emails we decided not to reply. And by the way, when I say emails, these are companies, right, that are claiming that, oh, we will list our tokens and it's going to be a fucking dollar. We will pay you in our tokens because we know that we're going to list it in a dollar. Now, I haven't had the time to actually go through all those emails, which I will do. Just give me some time because I think it will be a very fun episode and I think everybody would want to know about it, where it's basically marketing inquiries. So they don't want to pay us in BTC or Ethereum because we clearly will not accept any weird ass new token, right? We will only accept BTC or Ethereum as payment for what we do. Now, I haven't done any sponsored videos in a fucking long time, but anyway, the most important thing is that they don't want to even pay me, okay, or pay my company in a recognized, reputable cryptocurrency, but they do want to pay me in their magic tokens. So when I look back at just one or two of the emails till now, okay, so after, let's say, assumingly that I was stupid enough to actually do the job, till now, I would not be able to cash in on my efforts. So think about it. If you were an investor, you handed the money already. You are supposed to receive your product, which is the token. And this token is fucking useless. It's not even useful enough for it to be speculated. You're now promised an idea of what this potentially could do. How exciting this new token is going to be, this utility token, this crypto asset is going to be. It's going to be the next thing in the future. I warn you, more people are going to get hosed big time. And they're going to take you to host town. You're going to get stripped naked and hosed. And at that time, don't complain, guys. Because you clearly are not listening. And I know that it's going to happen. It's going to happen all over again. It doesn't matter how it appears. The underlying intentions are always like that. we assume that 99% of the companies are going to be like that. Okay, we assume. We always assume that. This is something that no VC wants to talk about. Nobody has the balls to put it out there because they don't need to talk to you about it. They really don't. Because you're not supposed to be part of the space. You retail investors are not supposed to be part of the space. Really, it's not for you. You don't have the assets, you don't raise the assets, you don't have the licenses, you don't have the expertise, you don't have the team to do the compliance, but you still want to come in. So, obviously, they can only do so much and share so much because they're all under NDA. As much as they would like to share, whenever I talk to someone, whenever I talk to a VC, and I always ask them, can you please come onto the show? And they say, Ryan, you know what? It's very hard for me to come onto the show because I don't want to be held liable for what I'm about to share. Also for the fact that I would prefer to remain anonymous and function and do my work. Because who's paying me for all this? Who's paying me for me to come and appear? I was like, but can't you help out? You know? Help out the folks who really don't stand a chance. And they said, yeah, but they're not supposed to be in this space in the first place. You know, the risk is way too high. Clearly a lot of people are going to get burnt over and over again. And I said, true. I cannot argue with that. It has happened multiple times and it will continue to happen. And when Bitcoin eventually goes to 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 30,000, whatever it is, it's just going to get worse and worse and it will draw more people in because that is the easiest way for people to take notice because the Coinbase, Gemini, they're all ramping up their marketing activities. Eventually, one thing will lead to another. And people will want to go for higher, riskier, higher leverage, higher potential ROI assets. And people love it for the fact that, wow, with so little, I can make so much. And it's just going to happen all over again. And I just hope that whoever watches this video, whether you share the video or not, whether you decide to take it as advice, as a 20-minute coffee break, you know, I just hope that you understand it enough that you make the right decisions for yourself. And it's not easy for folks like us to keep coming out there and sharing information that we know because it is not the same like fucking doing an unboxing video. No offense to anyone who does unboxing videos. It's difficult to do. It's really difficult to do. These kind of financial videos are the worst, most boring, tedious, full of risky landmine related stuff, lot of disclaimers. And you know, we can be held liable for a lot of things. And that is why sometimes we don't share. And that is why a lot of stuff I put out there in Protégé Pro only. You know? Because it is a willing buyer, willing seller market. And the information that we share usually in the group definitely is always of higher value, it is definitely less restrictions to no restrictions at all sometimes. Because we know that you are mature enough that you appreciate the information. And to share this openly is also a risk for me sometimes. Because what if, you know, clients who potentially want to pay me for certain things and they know that, oh shit, this guy's like a goody two shoes, you know, like the Avenger in the market. Look, I'm a businessman. I don't want to be an Avenger, but also I don't want people to get hurt. It's fucking difficult. It's a mind fuck for me because everybody who watches me, everybody who knows my channel knows that I'm here to make money. Just like you, man. When you watch it for free and you want to make money, same thing. I want to make money too. So, in all fairness, as much as I can put content out there and be very honest with you, there are always people who are more scheming and scamming out there. And they're always out there. They're always out there looking for unsuspecting Bostons and Bettys who have retirement money waiting on the wings. You know, they don't know what to do. They don't trust the banks. You know, they don't trust the banks. And at the same time, they have no financial advisor, no friends that are savvy enough around their little community. But shit, suddenly they watch Ryan's videos and, you know, I don't really trust this Asian guy, but you know what? I want to watch probably someone who is around the same ethnicity, you know, or you know, he speaks my slang and, you know, it's a little bit easier to understand him. And so I'm probably going to listen to him. That's also another thing that is going to be another whole episode, you know, because it's always questionable about who creates what kind of content. Everybody's creating content in their own bias. Like for me, I just want to create content that I know for a fact that I'm confident in. Whenever I shill, whatever I shill. all the volume is just so high that none of you, honestly, none of you can help. Seriously. And I'm very happy to know that as long as I know that whatever I talk about, none of you are going to put in enough money to move the market. When it eventually moves, everybody can be happy. I cannot even say that, oh, I'm a mover. I'm not a big YouTuber. You know, I'm no longer as big as I used to be. And that's a good thing, because I won't be blamed, or people can say that, oh, Ryan kind of shielded this and it moved the market. It won't happen anymore, which I'm very, very glad, because I don't want to be involved in that kind of thing. I'm really busy just doing my own investing and my own trading and really communicating with the Protégé Pro group. I don't have time for this, because I'm only interested in making money in the market right now, and that's where I know where the highest ROI is going to be. But at the same time, I still want to put out content to at least help the folks who are getting started. And when they are getting started, I hope that the people in my community will do their part as well, and not be tight-lipped and, it's too tiring. And if it's too tiring, show them my channel. Maybe it'll help them out. Maybe it'll give them a little bit of a head start. Maybe it will supplement their existing knowledge, that they already have, but they just need a little bit of reassurance. Hey man, maybe my channel is for you. So anyway, that's all I have for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, stay safe. Don't invest in shit that you don't know. And of course, last but not least, give it a thumbs up if you want. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. And of course, last but not least, hey, subscribe to the channel, man. It's free. See you guys.